Hello and welcome. Tonight, the federal government considers options to address the 18-year age limit for university admissions. The Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Maman, says government is working on ensuring that students acquire at least 2 basic skills at basic education level. The APC flags off governorship election campaign rally in Ondo City. Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa promises to introduce 73,000 naira as minimum wage for workers in the state. And the Minister of Defense, Mohammed Abubakar, asked Niger Delta communities to support the military in tackling illegal refineries. On sports news tonight, Yannick Sinner becomes the first Italian to finish the year as men's tennis world #1, following his semi-final win at the Shanghai Masters.
And on business news, Nigeria's stock market's all-share index finishes the first full trading week of October with a marginal gain of 9 basis points.
The federal government is considering options to address the 18-year age limit for university admissions. The Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Maman, stated this at the ministerial session of the 68th National Council on Education meeting in the nation's capital, Abuja. He explains that the age limit policy only applies to admission into tertiary institutions and not O-level examinations. The minister added that the government is working on ensuring that students acquire at least 2 skills at basic education levels.
The 68th National Council on Education meeting is focusing on innovation, digital technology, and entrepreneurship. The meeting provides the federal government the opportunity to highlight some of its achievements and plans to address some of the developments in the education sector.
We are only drawing attention to what is in the acts, those acts that I mentioned earlier on, but it doesn't, apply to those who want to do NECO, WASC, and other all-level examination, basic all-level examination. You can do that if circumstances permit, if you are 15. But the only thing is that the admission for university will be 18. So you can keep yourself busy somehow on some other activities. But whatever it is, in the ministry, we are going to look at and it is actually a global thing. All the universities, all countries have a provision for exceptional talents. So we are going to look at how we are going to harvest exceptional talents so that they can be individually, separately provided for.
The conversation at the meeting also included efforts to ensure that the nation's education sector aligns with the digital age. The council is considering a review of the curriculum.
We have to change it such that by the time our children finish primary school, basic education, and secondary school, they would have acquired some trades, some occupations. And if I may say so, it is our plan that in the course of time, so that we are going to insist that all children who pass through schools in Nigeria must finish with at least 2 skills. And happily, we've been able to, in the last 10 months, develop through a high consultative process a national skills framework, which we are going to present later.
The ministry hopes to begin the implementation of the new curriculum in the next academic session.
Staying with education, beyond reviewing the school curriculum is the adoption of artificial intelligence in creating job opportunities for young people. The Minister of Communication, Innovation and Digital Economy, Mr. Bosun Tijani, says Nigeria and Africa is ripe for artificial intelligence.
Africa, Nigeria can come up with some of the smartest new ways of digitizing data so that we can actually get paid for doing that part of the work. And we can own a part of the AI ecosystem. So all these young people that we're talking about in Nigeria, 70% of our people are under the age of 30. the average age in Nigeria is 17.5. The jobs they need will not be the jobs that we have today. When I set up my farm, people were surprised. I saw young computer science graduates working on my farm, not necessarily tilling the ground, but they're flying the drones on the farm. Because I was able to introduce technology, I have these young people who are now excited about agriculture. Those are the kind of jobs that we need to create for our people. So talking about AI from the perspective of whether it's ready for Africa or not, I think is a big mistake. And I also believe, lastly on this topic, that the technology ecosystem, we would have failed our people and the future generation if we sleep on artificial intelligence. Because these are a set of technologies that will control what you think, how we do literally everything.
To agriculture now, the federal government says it's working towards ramping up food production to cushion the effect of food shortages across the country. The Minister of State for Agriculture, Mr. Abdullahi Sabi, made the revelation during the unveiling of the 2024 Wet Season Farming Report. The report recommends the establishment of a trust fund for farmers and the elimination of multiple taxation on agricultural produce.
The National Agricultural Extension and Research License Services was mandated to conduct a survey on the 2024 wet season farming to assess its agricultural performance. The agency is presenting the outcome of the report, which details how much Nigerians have engaged in agriculture and factors affecting the development of food production in the country.
I've always said, before we can have a breakthrough in land production, we must have a breakthrough in cereals. Before we can have a breakthrough, any country that you noted had a breakthrough in livestock production must first of all have a breakthrough in cereals, maize in particular. Yes, followed by legumes like soybean. So we should pay attention to maize. I know Kaduna State is the hub of it. We should pay attention. It has a competitive advantage, and we can pay attention to it. Others, this one, why it's not the fault of the ministry. The cost of production was because of other factors that about the petroleum, the forest, and whatever is not on the desk of the ministry to control this. I think so.
The report made some recommendations to address food security in the country, including the proposal to establish a trust fund for farmers.
Our recommendation, one of them is that we should pay attention, whatever strategy that you bring about this depopulating cutlass and hoes, to attract the youth from coming to come into the agri-space. And then we should set up a trust fund, whatever, you have to put your money where your mouth is.
The Minister of State for Agriculture promises that the government will consider the recommendations and share some interventions by the government to improve food production.
As part of the strategy of the ministry to tackle the food price inflation, our pledge and promise to Nigerians is that we will ramp up production back to back, which means as the rainy season is finishing, we are moving into the dry season and we are preparing.
After the meeting, the minister leads the launch of the report, which aims to make food production better and food accessible for all.
Outside our shores, experts have been speaking about the need to tackle malnutrition and create a better future for children around the world. This topic hogged the front burner at the 2024 edition of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation Goalkeepers event in Manhattan, New York. The event, which had as its theme Recipe for Progress, had in attendance the President of Brazil and many other dignitaries.
In 2023, the World Health Organization estimated that 148 million children experienced stunting, while 45 million children experienced the more severe and irreversible form of malnutrition, which could lead to death. New modeling shows that by the year 2050, 40 million more children will suffer from hunger's worst effects due to climate change.
Everybody get up out your seats right now.
To discuss how to tackle this challenge, world leaders, change makers, friends and partners of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation gather in this hall for the 2024 edition of the Goalkeepers event in Manhattan, New York.
Where you are from?
A night of insightful conversations begins with some entertainment as American singer, songwriter and multi-instrumentalist John Batiste lights up the stage. Nigeria's Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Mohammed Ali Pate, sets the tone for this year's theme, which is Recipe for Progress, with great focus on possible solutions to end malnutrition on the planet.
Malnutrition traps mankind in poverty, in suffering, in the tears of the past. Because when people can't grow, neither can their economies. It is estimated that malnutrition costs low-income countries between 3 to 16% of their GDP. It is the equivalent of a permanent and deep recession. But there is hope. By joining hands, we can reboot this golden age in health.
For the co-chair of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Bill Gates, funding and innovation are key ingredients in tackling malnutrition in a warming world.
You know, I believe that helping children survive and thrive should remain the world's highest priority. Funding is a part of the solution, but we need to take the funding, make sure that's there, and then combine it with continued innovation.
With the African continent the hardest hit, some leaders are already implementing solutions.
There's a common say that if you go to any country in the world and you want to see how a health system performs, and you have only 1 minute, just check on one indicator or two: the maternal health and infant mortality. Products like MMS, bringing 15 vitamins and minerals together in a single small tablet, is going to be a game changer. That is how we started to think, how can we do better from numbers reduction, but also quality of life improved for these kids.
Example here is, iodized salt.
Yep.
And, now countries are going even further and adding other micronutrients, like Ethiopia is adding folic acid. In India as well, we have double fortified and multiple micronutrient fortified salt.
This is actually a new technology that is actually quite amazing. Just look at that. This is actually a camera. And this camera that can actually introduce in the nostril can travel along the GI tract and visualize in a way that's never been done before the entire ecosystem of the GI tract. And this capsule, quite remarkably, after swallowing, can unravel a long tube that will allow the capture of microbiome in different parts of the gut, allowing for the first time to capture how different microenvironment can actually shape the physiology of the gut.
One of the highlights of the event is the presentation of the 2024 Global Goalkeeper Award to Brazil's President Lula da Silva. This session with President Lula da Silva reveals the creation of Bolsa Familia, a robust anti-poverty and social inclusion program that helped lift millions of people out of poverty, reducing the nation's stunting rate from 37% to 7%. The event is crowned with a roll call of 10 awardees who are goalkeepers champions, leading the charge towards a more nourished world, including Nigeria's Director of Nutrition for the Ministry of Health, Ladidi Bako Ayegusi. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation hopes to focus on more than 400 million children who are not getting the nutrients they need to grow and thrive. While climate change is making that challenge harder to solve, progress is possible. Change is possible.
Progress is not inevitable, but it is possible as long as we commit together.
In part two, after the break, gunmen kill an APC councillorship candidate in Abeokuta South of Ogun State. That's in a moment. Join us again. Welcome back. If you just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, broadcasting live from Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. The federal government considers options to address the 18-year age limit for university admissions. The Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Maman, says government is working on ensuring that students acquire at least 2 skills at basic education. The APC flags off governorship election campaign rally in Ondo City. Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa promises to introduce 73,000 naira as minimum wage for workers in the state. And the Minister of Defense, Mohammed Abubakar, asked Niger Delta communities to support the military in tackling illegal refineries. The Vice President, Kashim Shettima, has vowed that the growing informal sector and low labor force participation caused by the staggering unemployment rate in the country must be reversed. The Vice President made the promise during the launch of the Nasarawa State Human Capital Development Strategy document and Gender Transformative Human Capital Development Policy Framework in Lafia, the state capital. He emphasized that the administration's goal is to empower Nigerians with globally competitive skills.
Nasarawa State's commitment to the Human Capital Development Program, a lifeline for our nation, is built on the collective realization that enough is enough. Enough of the cycles that have held us back. Enough of the legacies of unplanned high fertility rates and alarming maternal and under-5 mortality rates. Enough of our vulnerable populations facing low life expectancy. Enough of the distressing data on our education system, whether it is the mean years of schooling, the high pupil-to-teacher ratios, or the staggering number of youth not in employment, education, or training. The unemployment rates, the growing informal sector, and low labor force participation must be reversed. This is the dystopia our Human Capital Development Program is designed to abate under the mandate of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. For so long, as the National Economic Council, we have debated the ideal nation we wish to build and the pathways to achieve it. At the heart of this national search for solutions is the HCD program, which seeks to reverse our nation's human capital challenges by focusing on education, health, and workforce development. This is a critical work we have undertaken at the national level, and we are proud to welcome Nasarawa State as a committed partner in this cause. It is a tragic reality that the ECOWAS region ranks the lowest in the global Human Capital Development Index. This, however, should not dishearten us. Rather, it is an invitation for every country and indeed subnational entities to rise to the challenge. Every child must have access to quality education. Equitable health care must be the norm. And our workforce must be equipped with the skills necessary to thrive in the 21st century economy. These are not mere goals. They are the promises embedded in our Human Capital Development Program.
In Borno State, in the aftermath of the flood that destroyed properties, including facilities at the University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital, the Minister of Health has received a donation of 500 million naira from the Borno State government. The minister received the donation after inspecting some of the affected facilities in the hospital alongside the governor.
This is the second visit of the minister to the University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital, UMTH, following the flood disaster. Accompanied by the Borno State Governor, the Minister of State for Health, and other government officials, the visit aims to explore ways to restore the damaged facilities at the prestigious health institution. After inspecting some of the affected areas, Governor Babagana Zulum makes a donation on behalf of the Borno State government. Later,
The governor welcomes a delegation from the League of Northern Democrats who donate 50 million naira to assist the victims of the flood disaster.
We are here to extend our heartfelt sympathy to the government and people of Borno State in the aftermath of the devastating floods that have brought untold hardship to our brothers and sisters in Maiduguri and its environs. The loss of lives, destruction of homes, and the outbreak of diseases that have followed in the wake of this disaster are a great tragedy that has touched us all.
The rest assured of our continued support and to once again bring to your kind notice that under the leadership of the government of Edo State, I will continue to provide dividend of democracy to the good people of Edo State.
The League of Northern Democrats delegation also visits UMTH, where they meet with the Chief Medical Director and the hospital's management team. They are shown visuals of the flood's impact before inspecting some of the damaged facilities. According to the CMD, the teaching hospital is equipped with world-class medical equipment, but the flood damaged much of it. The extent of the damage will be determined once manufacturers assess the affected equipment.
The president is in France in continuation of his annual leave after leaving the United Kingdom. The special assistant to the president on political and other matters, Mr. Ibrahim Masari, through his verified X handle, says the president is expected to attend an important engagement while in France. The special advisor to the president on information and strategy, Mr. Bayo Ononuga, had in a statement on October the 2nd announced President Tinubu's departure to the United Kingdom to begin a 2-week vacation as part of his yearly annual leave. President Tinubu departed after a speech on Nigeria's 64th Independence Day anniversary, where he said the federal government would introduce a 30-day confab aimed at including the youth in his administration. To politics now. The Ondo State Governor, Mr. Lucky Ayedatiwa, has promised to implement a sum of 73,000 naira as minimum wage for workers in the state. The governor made this disclosure while addressing the gathering at the flag-off of the Ondo APC governorship election campaign rally in Ondo City.
The All Progressives Congress Ondo State chapter flags off its governorship election campaign rally in Ondo State, the headquarters of the Ondo West local government area of the state. The Ondo City Sports Complex burst at its seams as party leaders and members converged to drum support for their candidate. The rally is accompanied with the usual funfair, with party loyalists adorned in branded caps and T-shirts full of excitement, singing and dancing to welcome the governor. The chairman of the APC in Ondo State, Mr. Ade Adetimei, says Governor Ayedatiwa has performed very well and deserves to be voted for in the forthcoming election. He assures the electorate of more people-oriented programs and projects if the governor is elected.
A good foundation was well laid by the former governor. The current governor, Honorable Lucky Orimisa Ayedatiwa, he has been doing well. Within the rural road, 9 roads has been awarded.
The Director General of the Lucky Ayedatiwa Campaign Organization, Honorable Abiola Makinde, makes his pitch as well. Governor Ayedatiwa appreciates the people for the massive turnout at the rally and highlights some of the projects of his administration in the health, education, agriculture, security, and sports and other areas. He promises to continue the projects if voted into office as governor in the November 16th governorship election. Mr. Ayedatiwa caps it off with a promise to implement 73,000 naira as the new minimum wage for workers in the state.
Our workers have been motivated, the civil servants, through different trainings, and also their salaries are being paid on time and they are not being owed at all. Now, promotion also on regular basis to further motivate them to deliver. Now, let me also announce to you that this administration have decided to implement the minimum wage.
The Ondo APC governorship election holds on Saturday, 16th of November 2024, and Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa will be hoping that the turnout of those who eventually vote during the polls will result in victory.
In Ogun State, the APC councillorship candidate, Mr. Adele Adeyinka, representing Abeokuta South in the November local government elections, has been reportedly killed by gunmen in the state capital. According to an eyewitness, the assailants came in a tinted glass car, shot him, and later hit him with a stone before leaving the scene. The State All Progressives Congress Youth Leaders Forum has condemned the act, describing it as senseless. In a statement issued and signed by the group, the youth leaders are demanding an immediate investigation to unravel the cause and those behind this heinous act. Still ahead on the news at 10, Nigeria's stock market's all-share index finishes the first full trading week of October with a marginal gain of 9 basis points. That's on Business News. Please join us again. Welcome back. Ahead of the October 19th local government election in Kogi State, the Labour Party and the All Progressives Congress are appealing to registered voters to come out and exercise their right to elect quality leaders. Addressing a rally in Lokoja, the state capital, Governor Usman Ododo appealed to residents to maintain peace as the party seeks to improve the welfare of the people at the local government level. At a separate rally, also in Lokoja, the Transition Committee Chairman of the Labour Party, Mr. Ibrahim Shatima, says the party is prepared to transform the state.
From different parts of Kogi State, members of the All Progressives Congress gather at the Muhammadu Buhari Square for the flag-off of the party's campaign for the local government elections in the state. Residents of Kogi State are scheduled to vote for chairmen and councillors across the 21 local government areas of the state on Saturday, October 19, 2024.
Go back to your respective local government and do door to door, unit to unit, and word to word. Canvass for vote. We are a party that is very serious about elections.
Governor Usman Ododo then receives a member of the House of Representatives, Mr. Idris Salmanu, who is a member of the Africa Democratic Congress, into the party alongside his supporters.
Kogi State is our state. Nobody is coming down here to fix it for us. We must be united. We must work together because we are one formidable family. Politics should not divide us. Religion should not divide us. Ethnicity should not divide us. We should work together for the development of our land. Please, come October 19, 2024, go out there to cast your vote for APC.
At a separate rally, the Labour Party is wooing the electorate with a promise to address their economic situation.
Our candidates will not fail you. They will, by the special grace of God, stand by the party integrity, party constitution, and the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We have tried all these other people. Can we try something different? Can we do something different? Can we try to begin to build from scratch, from the ward level, the councillors, the local government chairman, and then hopefully we build up the momentum to 2027 for a credible presidential candidate. So I want to say that this is an opportunity for us to begin to build something new.
One after the other, the party's flag is presented to the candidates.
Staying with politics, the Labour Party candidate in the 2024 Edo governorship election, Mr. Olumide Akpata, has decided against contesting the election result at the tribunal. A statement issued and signed by Mr. Akpata says that the decision is born out of his deep reflection and rigorous analysis which transcends mere political calculation. According to the Labour Party candidate, the irregularities that marred the election, from brazen vote buying to questionable collection procedures, are just a few issues affecting the nation's electoral system. Mr. Akpata adds that these are not just mere technical infractions, but fundamental breaches of the social contract between the government and the people. He adds that his decision not to approach the tribunal is not a submission to injustice, but a resolute stand against a flawed system. For the stories now, members of the Niger Delta communities have been encouraged to provide the military with critical intelligence on illegal activities in their domain. The Minister of Defense made this appeal during his operational visit to the 6th Division of the Nigerian Army, explaining that local support is essential to curbing oil theft and boosting oil production. Our correspondent, Deborah Agbalama, has this report.
The Minister, Mohammed Abubakar, is on a tour of areas under the 6th Division of the Nigerian Army, fully kitted for the Swampy Creek and accompanied by the General Officer commanding 6th Division and other senior officers. Mr. Mohammed Abubakar sets out to inspect ongoing operations, including the dismantling of an illegal refinery at Buguma Creek in Asaritoro local government area of Rivers State. Speaking with journalists shortly after the inspection, the minister emphasized the importance of halting these illegal operations to meet the federal government's target of restoring oil production to 2.5 barrels per day. He appealed to community members to assist the military by providing valuable intelligence to help identify and dismantle illegal refineries.
It is very, very important for us to come back to the production of 2003 to 2.3 to 2.5 million barrels a day for the economic development and prosperity of this nation. It is very, very needed that we go back to the normal production, and that will help in a big way to improve the prosperity of this nation and the life of our people.
The minister applauds the troops for their dedication, noting that since February, they had successfully dismantled 67 illegal refineries in just 103 battalion, a challenging terrain.
First time to see the nature of the illegal refinery and what constitute the challenges in trying to dismantle them across Niger Delta. And I have seen how our gallant officers are working very hard, despite the tough terrain, to get to those illegal refineries and dismantle them. And this is what I learned from February to now only. This is about the number 67th in this battalion, 103. And the others are doing, the other formations are doing their best also.
At LM Calabari Road, during a stopover, the minister was presented with a gift by the Commander of 103 Battalion, acknowledging his leadership and support for ongoing military efforts in the region. According to the defense minister, the visit aims to assess the military's work in tackling illegal refineries and identify challenges faced in the region, provide solutions, and meet set targets. Deborah Balama, Channels Television News.
In the meantime, the Minister of State for Defense, Mr. Bello Matawale, has called on governors in the Northwest region to sustain their support for the fight against banditry. The minister made the call after a tour of various communities where military operations against banditry are ongoing in the eastern senatorial district of Sokoto State. The state government is also pledging additional support to security agencies.
The Minister of State for Defense is in Sokoto State to assess the progress of the military operation in the state, which commenced over a month ago. The minister, in company of the Deputy Governor of Sokoto State, visits villages in Issa, Sabombrene and Goronyo, where he interacted with members of the communities.
It is the responsibility of the military to protect the territorial integrity of our nation. Therefore, it is our own responsibility to follow up to see what successes have we recorded. If you recall, our first visit to Sokoto, we recorded a lot of successes by eliminating some of the leaders of the bandits. And the rest assured that even this my visit, we are going to do more. We are going to bring some of them by any way, inshallah, either to kill them or to bring them alive.
During the interactions, members of these communities lament the impact of bandits on their communities. However, the minister explains plans by government to establish military formations in the area. He solicits the support of Northwest governors.
The security challenges is not just for federal government alone. It is for all of us, including you, the media. Therefore, I call upon all the governors from the Northwest to come up together to team up with the federal government so that we can achieve what our people give us the mandate. The major issue in the Northwest is security. We all know it. Therefore, how are we going to team up to confront this criminal? It is a teamwork. We have to work together. We shall be ourselves and we shall provide a good leadership to the citizens of this country.
You can see how, they are working, how people, they were happy seeing the presence of the military, in the areas whereby in the past 4 to 5 years, no official have ever visited. Today, alhamdulillah, we have visited that place. No official have ever visited that place. And nobody have ever ride along that road. But today, you understand, we have successfully passed on that side, you understand, and we're here.
The minister also interacted with troops operating in the region and encouraged them to continue the effort to curtail the activities of bandits in Nigeria's northwest.
Days after arsonists went berserk, torching 3 local government buildings in Rivers State, stakeholders are taking stock and looking at ways to ensure that the ugly incident does not take place again. Some chairmen in the affected councils are holding meetings to discuss the best way forward, even as political figures are demanding that those responsible must face the music.
October the 7th, a day that will be remembered for the wrong reasons. A day when reason took flight and violence reigned supreme. Stakeholders in the affected areas are beginning to discuss the way forward, especially with the visit of the new Commissioner of Police. In Emoha, where some council offices were raised, the council chairman, David Omeriji, is formally proclaiming the Legislative Assembly, where a female councillor, Precious Ada George, was elected as the leader of the House.
My functions, honestly, to the best of my ability.
At this outdoor session, participants unanimously resolved to move past the incident and focus on ensuring true development in the local government. The new council chairman, David Omeriji, while condemning the incident, promises to rebuild the secretariat and ensure equitable development of the area.
Every lie has an expiring date. Every deception has an expiring date. The era of use and dump is gone. The era of lies are gone. Very soon, I work out the modality to develop this council, and God will take the glory.
Senator Andrew Uchendu, an APC leader in the state, says he had reached out to the former Rivers State governor and now Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, on the crisis in Rivers State.
People should be confined to the powers and responsibilities given to them by the Constitution. And I know the provisions. And that's why only yesterday I told my brother, it's my brother, I can't deny him, as the one Nyesom Wike, the FCT minister, please confine yourself to the provisions of the Constitution so that we will have peace here.
Elsewhere, a group of chairmanship candidates in the local government elections in Rivers State are asking for a thorough investigation into the arson attacks in the state. The candidates, at a media briefing, urged the Judicial Commission of Inquiry set by Governor Siminalayi Fubara to be fair in their hearing and ensure that no sacred cow is spared.
We condemn unequivocally the burning and wanton destruction of government properties at the various local government council secretariats by hoodlums, as that does not reflect the true character of Rivers people. We urge the Judicial Commission of Inquiry constituted by His Excellency Sir Simenalaye Fubara to spare no sacred cows in the fact-finding mission. We also call for strict prosecution of whoever is found culpable.
While the affected councils are moving on with governance at the grassroots, some political actors in Rivers State are expecting that the arson and shooting last weekend should not be swept under the carpet to serve as deterrence ahead of the 2027 general elections.
Governor Dauda Lawal has pledged that his government will take full responsibility for the well-being of the families of the Zamfara guards who were killed in an ambush. The governor made a commitment at the Safi Emir's palace during a condolence visit to the victims' families. While consoling the emirate and relatives of the brave guards, Governor Lawal said their sacrifice will never be in vain. He also donated money and foodstuff to the victims' families. Earlier, the Emir, Muhammadu Bawa, expressed gratitude to the governor for his consistent support and timely assistance in ensuring the safety of lives and properties. A time to find out the latest from the world of business. Laddie Williams has all those details.
Thanks, Melinda. Well, in business news, the Dangote Group, owners of the Dangote Refinery, will commence crude oil exploration in the first quarter of 2025 in order to bolster feedstock to its refinery. According to reports by S&P Global Commodity Insights, the Dangote Group is looking to start production at its two Nigerian oil assets, which includes its two Niger Delta upstream projects in oil mining leases 71 and 72. Starting with about 20,000 barrels per day before ramping up further. The report noted that though Dangote's upstream activities and focus right now, the imminent startup of production at OMLs 71 and 72 suggests the Dangote refinery could soon supplement its crude feedstock after battling crude supply issues for months. And to the financial services sector now, the number of point-of-sale machines deployed by merchants and individuals across Nigeria rose to 3.04 million in July this year, according to latest electronic payment data by the Nigeria Interbank Settlement System, NIBS. This represents a 32% increase year-on-year when compared with the number of deployed terminals in the same period last year, which was 2.3 million. The data shows the figure for deployed POS is still lower than the total registered terminals, as a total of 4.06 million POS machines had been registered across the country as of July 2024, which shows that a total of 1.02 million terminals are either yet to be deployed or have been inactive. And at the FMDQ exchange, the foreign exchange trading activities ended positive this week as the total turnover of forex transactions carried out rose by $1.5 billion as of October the 11th. This amount represents a 31.5% week-on-week jump against the value of transactions recorded last week. According to the FMDQ, the week-on-week rise in total turnover was largely driven by the 32% rise in turnover on the FX spot segment of the FX market, which offset the 53% decrease in FX derivatives turnover. Elsewhere on the FMDQ platform, the Naira depreciated by 1.73% to 1,634 Naira 87 kobo against the dollar at the Nigerian Autonomous Foreign Exchange fixing window. To the domestic market, now we ended the first full trading week of October in the green, with the likes of Mercure Industries, University Press, and some Tier 1 banks adding to their share prices. As a result, the market's main index rose by 9 basis points as buying interest across the banking, oil and gas sector of the NGX, while the consumer industrial goods counter saw a dip in those counters. Activity levels were mostly up within the week, with total trading volume green, while the value of traded stocks dipped, and the total number of deals carried out this week was at 42,482. The shares of Mercure Industries was top among 29 gainers this week with a 19.53% increase on its share price, while Triple G and Company led 52 other losers with a 59.56% drop, while the trio of Tantalizers PLC, Coronation Insurance PLC, Fidelity Bank were the top three most actively traded stocks for the week. And to the mineral market now, Kenya is set to implement significant restrictions on the export of raw gold and other minerals, a move aimed at bolstering the local economy and enhancing the country's mineral value chain. This decision reflects a broader strategy to encourage domestic processing of minerals, thereby maximizing economic benefits and ensuring more jobs for Kenyans. As the government seeks to regulate the sector more effectively, these changes could reshape the landscape of Kenya's mining industry, fostering sustainable growth and development in the years to come. And that's it from me on Business. Is back to Melinda with the rest of the news at 10.
Interim head coach Austin Eguavoen has expressed satisfaction with the Super Eagles' victory over the Mediterranean Knights of Libya. The three-time African champions labored to a 1-0 victory in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State on Friday. Lazio midfielder Fisayo Dele Bashiru scored the winning goal in the 87th minute. Eguavoen said getting the 3 points is the most important thing, while Super Eagles defender William Trust Ekong reckoned the team must brace for a difficult test in the return fixture on Tuesday in Benin.
I expected us to score more goals, but for some reason we didn't find the back of the net early enough because of the tactics the Libyans deployed. But overall, we're very happy. 3 points, very important. We still maintain the first position in the log.
And now the experience from this first game should prepare us better for the second game. I think it will be something similar. It'll probably be more difficult because we won't have our lovely fans here with us cheering us on. So it's going to be very hostile there. I presume the referee will be difficult. The crowd will be difficult. They'll try and make it as hard as they can for us. But yeah, we'll be ready.
Captain Mohamed Salah will not play in Tuesday's Africa Cup of Nations qualifier in Mauritania. His club side Liverpool confirmed that the 32-year-old has been released early from international duty amid the ongoing October break. On Friday, Salah scored for Egypt in a 2-0 victory over Mauritania and had been due to play a second fixture against the same opponents on Tuesday. Reports say there were concerns over playing on Mauritania's artificial turf as well as injury fears. On the foreign scene, a fifth UN peacekeeper has been injured in southern Lebanon after being hit by gunfire. According to a statement issued by the United Nations Interim Force in Lebanon, UNIFIL, the origin of the fire is not yet ascertained. The peacekeeper who underwent surgery at the Naqra hospital to remove the bullet is now in stable condition. Separately, UNIFIL confirms that buildings at a UN position in the village of Ramya sustained significant damage due to explosions from nearby shelling on Friday night. World leaders have condemned Israel's attacks on UNIFIL personnel and positions. Doctors Without Borders, also known as MSF, is appealing to authorities in Sudan to make a way for humanitarian aid to be delivered to the Zamzam camp in the western region of Darfur. It's accusing warring groups in Sudan of preventing food delivery, medicine and supplies for the month. The humanitarian body has been forced to stop catering to 5,000 children on an outpatient basis, including 2,900 children with severe acute malnutrition. And the main news again. The federal government is considering options to address the 18-year age limit for university admissions. The Minister of Education, Professor Tahil Maman, has said that government is working on ensuring that students acquire at least 2 skills at basic education. The APC has flagged off governorship election campaign rally in Ondo City. Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa has promised to introduce 73,000 naira as minimum wage for workers in the state. And the Minister of Defense, Mohammed Abubakar, has asked Niger Delta communities to support the military in tackling illegal refineries. That's the news at 10 tonight. I'm Melinda Kimami. On behalf of the team, good night.